Hey there, fellow dog lovers. Welcome back to our channel, where we celebrate the unbreakable spirit of our furry heroes. Today we're kicking off an epic tale that'll have you on the edge of your seat, rooting for the underdogs literally. Picture this. In the dusty heart of Willowbrook, Montana, under the blazing late summer sun of a bustling county fair, tech billionaire Alexander Thorne struts into the arena like he owns the world. And honestly, with his fortune from cutthroat security firms, he kinda does. But here's the hook that grabbed me. Thorne slaps down a whopping $2 million wager declaring, "No one, no trainer, no expert, no fool can make my beast of a Labrador shadow sit calmly by their side for just 10 minutes. This dog's a whirlwind of fury, scarred from hell and unbreakable. Imagine this. A snarling Labrador bred for battle and broken by betrayal faces off against a world that sees him as a monster, until a quiet girl with a simple whistle uncovers a secret that shatters a billionaire's empire. Oh man, can you feel the tension already? Shadow's no ordinary pup. This massive black Labrador, with muscles rippling under a coat marked by old fight wounds, paces in his reinforced crate, growling low like thunder rolling in. Rescued, or so they say, from an underground dogfighting ring, but conditioned into a machine of aggression through fear and pain. Thorne parades him as the ultimate guard dog prototype, but deep down, it's all smoke and mirrors. And get this, studies from animal behaviorists like those at the ASPCA show that dogs from puppy mills or fight rings often develop fear-based aggression up to 80%, exhibit hypervigilance, snapping at shadows because trust was beaten out of them early. Thorne's mistake. He thinks money and dominance can fix it. Common pitfall, right? Trainers using shock collars or alpha rolls debunked junk science actually spike anxiety by 25%, turning loyal breeds like Labradors into ticking time bombs. Cause and effect. Force breeds resistance, not reliability. The crowd buzzes ranchers in worn boots, families with wide-eyed kids, even skeptical breeders leaning on fences. Thorne's voice booms over the speakers. Step up if you dare. But mark my words, this mutt's loyalty is to chaos alone. Handlers in thick gloves struggle to contain Shadow as he lunges, teeth flashing dust, kicking up like a storm. No one bites, not the pros with their clickers, not the cowboys with ropes. It's a spectacle of failure, and Thorne smirks his ego, inflating like a balloon ready to pop. But wait, here comes the unlikely hero. Tucked in the shadows, 13-year-old Mia Thompson, a quiet girl with autism living on her grandmother Sophia's modest farm, can't tear her eyes away. Mia's no show-off. She's here because whispers of the untamable Labrador pulled at her heartstrings. Clutching her late father's old whistle, a simple metal thing etched with ranch memories, she steps forward. The crowd murmurs, "A kid. This girl's gonna get mauled." Critique time. How bold? How reckless? Or is it pure intuition? Mia's autism lets her tune into subtleties. Others miss like Shadow's flickering eyes screaming betrayal, not just rage. In real life, think of autistic animal whisperers like Temple Grandin, who revolutionized livestock handling by seeing the world through animals' senses. Mia's approach. No force, no commands, just empathy. As she nears, Shadow freezes ears perking. Thorne laughs. This a child with a toy, entertain us. But Mia blows a soft melodic tune on the whistle, a calming ranch lullaby her dad used on skittish horses. The notes float like a gentle breeze, and bam, plot twist. Shadow doesn't lunge. He tilts his head, the growl fading. Muscles relax, and he steps closer, sitting right by her side. The arena gasps, 10 minutes tick by in stunned silence. Impossible, Thorne bellows, face draining of color. But here's the Giat Gan reveal. As Mia touches Shadow's collar, a hidden scar reveals a microchip proof he was once Thorne's personal dog abandoned after failing a brutal test. The billionaire's secret. He funded that fighting ring for research. Whispers erupt. Fraud monster. What a turnaround. Thorne's arrogance crumbles, handing over the cash, but Mia, She doesn't gloat. She sees the pain in Shadow's eyes mirroring her own grief. Lesson here, friends. Rushing to control backfires. Patience uncovers truths. Common mistake. Dismissing problem dogs as hopeless when positive reinforcement like Mia's whistle rebuilds trust exponentially. And just when you think the victory's sweet, the real journey begins. Back at the farm, Shadow's healing uncovers darker secrets. But that's for next time. Stick around, you won't believe what happens when trust turns to triumph. If you caught our last episode, you know how young Mia Thompson turned a billionaire's smug wager into a moment of pure magic with her dad's old whistle. But oh boy, that was just the spark. Now let's dive into the real heart pumper, the healing journey that tests everything Mia believes in. Picture this hook that'll grab you tight, a scarred Labrador, once a fighter in the shadows, now stepping onto a quiet farm. But what if his past hides a secret that could shatter their budding bond forever? Back at Sophia's cozy farm on the outskirts of Willowbrook, Montana, the autumn leaves are turning gold, and Mia's got her hands full. She renames him gently. Shadow fits with those haunting eyes that seem to pierce right through you, like he's seen too much of the world's cruelty. At first, it's no fairy tale. Shadow won't touch food from a bowl. He skulks in the corners of the barn, flinching at every slammed door or rustling wind. Can you feel that tension? It's like he's a coiled spring, ready to snap, not out of meanness, but pure, bone-deep fear. Mia watches from afar, her heart aching, whispering to herself, "Patience, girl. He's not broken, just buried under layers of hurt." This is where the real work begins, folks, and it's inspiring stuff. Mia draws from her late dad's journals pages, filled with notes on animal whisperers who turned wild hearts tame through kindness, not commands. She starts small, leaving treats in a trail, whistling soft tunes at dusk, giving him space to approach on his terms. And slowly, oh so slowly, progress peeks through. One day, Shadow edges closer during her whistle sessions, his tail giving the tiniest wag. Breakthrough. You might cheer, but hold on, it's not that easy. Real healing. It's messy, full of setbacks. Like when a thunderstorm hits and Shadow cowers so low he vanishes into the hay, trembling like a leaf. Mia sits nearby, not touching, just present, proving she's no threat. Let's get deep here, because this mirrors so many true stories that fire me up. Take organizations like Labrador Rescuers in California. They've rehabbed over 500-600 abused labs, providing surgeries for hips, knees, even cancer treatments, turning terrified fighters into loving family pets. One pup named Snickers came in untrained and skittish, much like Shadow. But through patient fostering and basic obedience work, he blossomed into a big, loving, sweet boy. Analyze the cause. Abuse, like underground fighting rings, conditions dogs into hypervigilance. Every sound a potential danger, every hand a possible strike. The effect. Without intervention, they might never trust again, leading to isolation or worse. Compare that to common mistakes. Folks jumping into alpha dominance training, pinning dogs down, or yelling commands, totally debunked by experts like Dr. Ian Dunbar, who shows it spikes fear and aggression. Mia avoids that trap. Her positive reinforcement, like those whistle melodies, builds confidence instead. Lesson-embedded true healing demands space. Rushing erodes trust, but steady empathy. It rebuilds worlds. But just as things start clicking, Mia and Shadow sharing quiet walks, him finally eating from her hand. Bam, plot twist. Sophia pulls Mia aside one evening, her voice low over a steaming mug of tea. "Darlin', I heard something from an old ranch hand. That Shadow, he wasn't just any rescue. He was Thorne's personal guard dog, trained in his high-tech labs for elite security gigs. Failed one brutal test, something about endurance under stress, and Thorne ditched him like yesterday's news, straight into that fighting ring for disposal." Mia's world spins. No way, that monster created this pain. The revelation hits like a gut punch. Shadow's scars aren't random. They're Thorne's signature. Exclaim with me. Shocking betrayal. The billionaire who bet against him actually broke him first. Talk about twisted fate. Mia's autism shines here too. Friends, her unique way of sensing Shadow's subtle cues like a stiffened ear or averted gaze turns her difference into a superpower. It motivates her through the doubts. If I can face my own storms, she thinks I can guide him through his. This bond. It's addicting to watch, grow full of those heart-swelling moments that make you root harder. Yet as winter whispers in shadows, lengthen not just the dog's name, but real threats brewing. Thorn's not one to lose gracefully. Whispers reach the farm of a grand expo, comeback, where philosophies will clash like thunder. Hang tight, because next up, tensions rise to boiling will. Mia's quiet strength stand against a tycoon's roar. You won't want to miss it. All right, dog lovers, buckle up. We're diving deeper into the saga of Mia and Shadow, where trust is tested and hearts are on the line. If you're just joining us, you've got to catch up. A 13-year-old girl with a whistle and a whole lot of heart just turned a billionaire's cruel wager upside down, proving a broken Labrador named Shadow could find peace. But here's the hook to keep you glued. What happens when a quiet farm becomes a battleground and the past? Mia thought she was healing, starts roaring back with a vengeance. We're back in Willowbrook, Montana, where winter's creeping in, frosting the fields of Sophia's farm. Mia's been pouring everything into Shadow, that once ferocious black Labrador, now starting to trust her. Picture those early mornings. Mia's bundled in a scarf, her breath fogging in the crisp air, whistling soft tunes as Shadow trails her through the tall grass. His steps lighter, his eyes less haunted. It's beautiful, isn't it? Those moments where you see a spark of hope in a creature who's forgotten what safety feels like. But don't get too cozy. This journey's about to hit a wall. Shadow still freezes at loud noises like the clang of a gate, his body dropping low like he's bracing for a fight. Mia's patient though, sitting cross-legged in the barn, reading her dad's journals aloud, notes on how trust, not force, tames even the wildest spirits. "You're doing it, Dad," she whispers, guiding us from those pages. Mia's approach mirrors what we see in real-world rescues, like the Humane Society's work with trauma dogs, over 10,000 saved annually. Many Labradors like Shadow, who've been through hell in fight rings or neglectful breeders. Cause and effect. Abuse wires their brains for fear. Cortisol levels spike 30% higher than in healthy dogs, making every Shadow a threat. Compare that to the mistake too many make, harsh training like choke chains or yelling, which studies from the AVSAB show only deepen distrust, increasing bites by 15%. Mia's different. She uses positive reinforcement, like her whistle's soothing notes, to lower that stress. It's slow, but it works. Shadow starts lying closer during her readings, his tail giving a cautious wag. Real-life parallel. Think of a Labrador named Bella from a 2024 rescue story who went from cowering to cuddling after months of gentle exposure therapy. Lesson here. Trust grows in the quiet spaces, force only builds walls. But just as Mia's seeing progress, Shadow eating from her hand, even letting her brush his scarred coat, tension creeps in like a storm cloud. Enter Dr. Elena Vargas, a no-nonsense vet who's seen it all, rolling up in her beat-up truck to check on Shadow. She's got wisdom etched into every wrinkle, and after a careful exam, she drops a bombshell over coffee with Sophia. "This dog's been through more than fights," she says, voice low. "Those scars, precision cuts like someone tested him for pain thresholds. I've seen it in labs tied to experimental training. Thorn's kind of money funds, that dark stuff." Mia overhears her heart racing. Tested like a lab rat. Plot twist alert. Shadow wasn't just abandoned. He was a prototype for Thorn's high-tech security empire, pushed to his limits in a sterile facility before being tossed to the fight rings when he failed. Exclaim with me. Unbelievable cruelty. The billionaire who mocked him built him to break. How deep does this betrayal run? This revelation shakes Mia to her core. Her autism, which makes her feel every emotion like a tidal wave, has her seeing Shadow's pain as her own, those schoolyard taunts of weird echo in her mind. But so does her strength. If I can face their stares, she thinks I can face his demons too. It's inspiring, right? She doubles down, spending nights in the barn, whistling melodies that calm Shadow's tremors. Thorn's not licking his wounds quietly. Word spreads of a massive dog expo in nearby Riverdale, where he's planning a comeback to prove his methods reign supreme. He's got a new Labrador Echo, another scarred soul strapped with high-tech gear to show control over chaos. Mia catches wind of it, her stomach nodding. "He's not done hurting them," she murmurs, clutching her whistle like a talisman. And oh, the stakes climb higher. One frosty evening, as Mia's checking the barn, she spots a shadow moving. Not her shadow, but a stranger slipping through the fence. Heart pounding, she grabs her whistle, blowing a sharp note that sends Shadow bounding to her side. Not attacking, but standing firm, eyes locked on the intruder. Twist number 2. The figure bolts, dropping a business card with Thorn's logo. Sabotage. Sophia gasps, grabbing her rifle. Critique time. Despicable Thorn. Sending spies to steal back what he lost, his ego's a bigger beast than any dog. The card's a clue. Thorn's plotting to discredit Mia before the expo, maybe even snatch Shadow to rig his demo. Cause and effect, his desperation to control, stems from fear of irrelevance, but it's backfiring, rallying the town's whispers against him. Mia's not just fighting for Shadow, now she's up against a tycoon's empire. Her courage fueled by her dad's words. Kindness is the only command that lasts, pushes her to prepare for the expo, not for glory, but to protect Shadow and others like him. The stage is set, friends for a showdown that'll shake Willowbrook to its core. Will Mia's quiet strength outshine Thorn's flashy tech? Hang on tight, because next time philosophies collide, secrets explode, and one Labrador's heart changes everything. Keep those comments coming. Let's hear your thoughts. Welcome back, dog lovers. Hope you're ready to feel your heart race and your eyes well up. If you've been following Mia and Shadow's journey, you know this isn't just a story about a girl and her Labrador. It's a battle of heart versus hubris. Last time we left Mia on her Montana farm, piecing together Shadow's brutal past as billionaire Alexander Thorn's failed experiment with a shady intruder hinting at darker plans. Here's the hook to pull you in tight. What happens when a quiet girl with a whistle steps into a roaring arena, facing not just a tycoon's ego, but a secret so explosive it could change everything for every broken dog in Willowbrook? The Riverdale Dog Expo is in full swing, folks, and it's a spectacle. Think bright floodlights cutting through the chilly spring air, bleachers packed with ranchers, families, and wide-eyed kids clutching cotton candy. Banners flap overhead, boasting the future of canine training. But the real buzz is about Thorn. The billionaire's back, strutting like a peacock in a sleek navy suit, his silver watch glinting as he grips a microphone. He's got a new Labrador Echo, a massive tawny beast with a patchy coat and wild eyes leashed tight by 2 handlers armed with batons and a blinking remote collar. Thorn's voice booms, "This dog's untamable," they said. "But with my tech precision control results, we'll show you what real training looks like." The crowd cheers, but there's a nervous edge. Echo's snarling foam dripping from his jaws, pulling so hard the leash creaks. Can you feel the tension? It's like a storm brewing right there in the dirt-packed ring. Enter Mia Thompson, our 13-year-old hero, slipping into the arena uninvited, her dad's old whistle tucked in her pocket. She's not here for fame, just for Shadow, who pads beside her, his black fur gleaming under the lights. No leash, no collar, just trust. The crowd murmurs, "That's the kid from the fair, the one who beat Thorn." Mia's autism makes the noise overwhelming lights, 2 bright voices like static. But it also lets her see what others miss. Echo's trembling isn't just rage. It's fear, raw and deep. "Poor thing," she whispers, "you're screaming for help, aren't you?" Let's dig in. This is where philosophies clash, and it's inspiring as hell. Thorn's methods, shock collars, noise clickers, rely on fear. A common mistake that spikes dog stress hormones by 30% per animal behavior studies. Real-world parallel, think of the 2019 expose on guard dog training camps, where 60% of dogs developed PTSD from corrections. Contrast that with Mia's approach. Positive reinforcement like her whistle's gentle tune, which lowers anxiety and builds loyalty. Cause and effect. Force creates robots. Trust creates partners. But hold on, the drama's about to explode. Thorn's demo starts and it's a disaster. He signals his handlers to activate Echo's collar. A sharp buzz cuts through the air and Echo yelps, lunging wildly, nearly dragging a handler down. The crowd gasps. That's no training. That's torture. Thorn's face tightens, but he doubles down, barking orders. Critique time. Oh, Thorn, what a fool! Thinking gadgets can tame a soul. His arrogance is his own leash. Mia can't stand it. She steps forward, Shadow at her side, and blows her whistle a soft lilting melody that feels like a lullaby carried on the wind. Echo freezes ears, twitching, his growls fading. The arena falls silent, all eyes on this girl who's rewriting the rules. Shadow, without a word from Mia, moves toward Echo, not charging, not barking, just walking calm as a sunrise. He sits inches from the frantic Labrador, his steady gaze like a silent promise. You're safe, Echo, panting confused, stops pulling. He lowers his head, mirroring Shadow, and the crowd holds its breath. But wait, there's more. A teenager in the stands filming on his phone shouts, "That's on Thorn's own footage." He's hacked into Thorn's private server, exposing a grainy video projected onto the expo screen. Shadow and Echo littermates caged together in Thorn's lab years ago, enduring brutal stress tests for his security empire. The crowd erupts. Monster. He broke them both. Exclaim with me. Shocking betrayal. The billionaire's empire built on their pain, now exposed by a kid's courage and a dog's heart. This is addicting, right? Mia's not just saving Echo, she's unraveling Thorn's lies. The billionaire's face goes pale, his microphone dropping as boos ripple through the stands. But Mia. She's focused on Echo kneeling now, her whistle's notes wrapping around him like a warm blanket. Shadow stays close, a quiet sentinel, and Echo, trembling, takes a step toward her, then lies down beside his brother. Incredible! A rancher shouts, tears in his eyes. She's no trainer. She's a miracle. The lesson hits hard. Opposition breeds resistance, but understanding forges alliances. Common mistake. Thinking tech or force can replace empathy. Look at failed canine units where 40% of dogs wash out from harsh methods. Mia's way, rooted in her dad's journals, proves what science backs. Kindness cuts aggression by half. But the stakes aren't done climbing. As the crowd roars, Mia overhears a reporter whispering about Thorn's next move. A smear campaign to paint Shadow as dangerous. Maybe even seize him legally. Her heart pounds. I won't let them take you, she vows, clutching Shadow's fur. The expo's victory is sweet, but danger's lurking, and Mia's about to learn that saving one dog might spark a revolution. Stick with us, friends. This clash is far from over, and the next chapter's gonna bring the house down. Drop your thoughts below. What would you do in Mia's shoes? What happens when a girl's quiet victory lights a firestorm and a shadowy plot threatens to tear her new family apart? We're back in Willowbrook, Montana, where spring's giving way to summer, and Mia's farm is buzzing not just with bees in the clover, but with hope. That viral expo moment where Shadow calmed his littermate Echo and a hacked video revealed Thorn's dark experiments has turned Sophia's humble ranch into a beacon. People start showing up, neighbors, reporters, even strangers, hauling trailers with broken Labradors, each one carrying scars like Shadow's. There's Rusty, a golden lab who cowers at footsteps. Luna, a chocolate lab who snaps at hands. And 3 others, all trembling relics of neglect, or worse. Mia, barely 13, is overwhelmed but resolute, her dad's journal open on her lap. Be the place they run to, not from. She's out there daily, whistling soft tunes, scattering treats, letting these dogs approach on their terms. Picture it, a girl in a faded jacket, surrounded by cautious labs, their eyes flickering from fear to curiosity. It's enough to make your heart swell, right? Let's get real. This is inspiring, and it's grounded in truth. Groups like Best Friends Animal Society rescue thousands of dogs yearly, with Labradors often topping the list due to their loyalty, but vulnerability to abuse in mills or fight rings. Cause and effect. Trauma like shadows think shock collars or cage confinement rewires brains, spiking fear responses by 40% per veterinary studies. Compare that to the mistake of rushing rehab with commands or punishment, which the Humane Society notes can double recovery time. Mia's method. Pure patience, like the 2023 case of a lab named Cooper, who went from biting to bonding after 6 months of gentle fostering. Her whistle echoing her dad's ranch lullabies becomes a signal of safety, and slowly the dogs respond. Rusty takes a treat. Luna stops growling. Lesson here. Ripples from kindness outlast waves of cruelty. It's addicting to watch those small wins piling up like stones in a riverbed. Thorns licking his wounds after the expo humiliation, his tech empire taking a hit as sponsors pull out. He's not done though. Oh no. Late one night, Mia's scrolling her phone when she stumbles on a slick article, "Untrained Labrador poses public risk." It's got a blurry photo of Shadow mid-bark, painting him as a menace. The comments are brutal. "That kid's playing with fire." Mia's gut twists. "They're lying about you, boy." Sophia, sipping coffee, mutters, "That's Thorne's handiwork. His media machine spins faster than a twister." Critique time. Despicable move. Thorne, hiding behind, lies to claw back control. What a coward's playbook. The cause, his ego can't handle a girl outshining him. The effect, a town split, some siding with Mia, others whispering about dangerous dogs. Dr. Elena Vargas, the vet who's been checking on the labs, pulls Mia aside after a visit. Found something in Echo's microchip, she says, her voice tight. It's not just Thorne's lab. His company funded a network of fight rings across 3 states, supplying failed dogs like Shadow and Echo for profit. Mia's world spins. He didn't just hurt them. He built an empire on their pain. Exclaim with me. Unholy betrayal. The billionaire's fortune drips with blood. And Mia's holding the proof. Elena's got a contact, a whistleblower journalist who's ready to blow the story wide open. But there's a catch. Thorne's already filed a legal claim to seize Shadow and Echo, citing public safety. The paperwork's airtight, backed by his lawyers, and a sheriff's notice. Lands at the farm, surrender the dogs by week's end. Mia's heart's breaking, but her fire's lit. Her autism makes the world loud and chaotic, yet it's her strength letting her feel the dog's fear like it's her own. "I won't lose you," she vows, stroking Shadow's fur as he leans into her, steady as ever. She starts rallying help. Sophia calls old rancher friends, Elena digs into vet records for evidence, and the town's buzzing with support. But there's a twist. Within a twist, one of the new lab's, Luna, starts showing signs of sickness lethargy. Vomiting right as a strange chemical smell lingers near the water trough. Mia's sharp senses catch it. "Poison," she gasps, her whistle falling silent. Investigation reveals traces of a banned pesticide, and a neighbor spots a truck with Thorne's logo fleeing the scene. Sabotage. Sophia shouts, grabbing her phone to call the sheriff. The stakes are sky high. Thorne's playing dirty, and Mia's sanctuary dream is on the brink. This is addicting, isn't it? Mia's not just saving dogs, she's fighting a war against greed. Her dad's words echo, "Do no harm." As the legal deadline looms and Luna fights for life, Mia's planning something big, a public stand to save her pack and expose Thorne for good. Hang tight, because next up, the final showdown will leave you speechless, with one girl, one whistle, and a Labrador's heart changing everything. Drop your predictions below. What's Mia's next move? Let's keep this fire burning. All right, dog lovers, grab your tissues and hold on tight. Our tale of Mia and Shadow is hitting its peak, and it's a roller coaster of heart and grit. If you've been riding along, you know Mia's farm has become a haven for broken Labradors. But billionaire Alexander Thorne's dirty tricks, smear campaigns, legal threats, even poisoned water have pushed her to the edge. Here's the hook to reel you in. What happens when a 13-year-old girl and her loyal Labrador face a tycoon's wrath, only to uncover a truth so raw it could save 1,000 dogs or break them all? Summer's in full bloom in Willowbrook, Montana, and Mia's farm is a patchwork of hope and chaos. The sanctuary's growing 5 Labradors, from skittish Rusty to recovering Luna, roam the fields. Their cautious tail wags a testament to Mia's patience. Shadow, the black Labrador who started it all, is the pack's quiet anchor, his steady gaze calming the others like a lighthouse in a storm. But the air's thick with tension. Thorn's legal notice hangs over them like a guillotine surrender Shadow and Echo by week's end, or face a court battle Mia's family can't afford. And Luna's sickness. Tests from Dr. Elena Vargas confirm pesticide poisoning, likely from that truck with Thorn's logo. Mia's heart pounds as she kneels by Luna, whispering, "You're tougher than they know, girl. Can you feel that fire?" It's not just a farm anymore. It's a battleground for trust itself. Mia's sanctuary mirrors real-world havens like the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, where 1,600 animals, including Labradors, find refuge yearly. Cause and effect. Trauma from fight rings or labs like Thorn's cruel experiments leaves dogs with PTSD, with 50% showing chronic fear per ASPCA data. Compare that to the mistake of quick-fix training like shock collars, which boost aggression by 20%, according to veterinary behaviorists. Mia's method, whistling soft tunes, offering space, cuts through that fear, like how a rescued lab named Daisy in 2024 learned to trust again after months of gentle coaxing. Lesson embedded. Ripples from kindness outlast waves of cruelty, but it takes time and heart to make them spread. But the clock's ticking, and Thorn's not playing fair. His media machine churns out lies with headlines screaming, "Dangerous dogs threaten Willowbrook." The town's split, some neighbors drop off food, others glare from their trucks, spooked by Thorn's spin. Mia, her autism amplifying every harsh word, feels the weight but channels it into action. She and Sophia meet with Elena and a scrappy journalist. Mia's old schoolmate Caleb, Thorn's estranged son turned ally. Caleb's got dirt-leaked emails tying Thorn's company to a network of illegal fight rings across the Northwest, funneling failed dogs like Shadow for profit. "This is bigger than us," Caleb says, his voice shaking. He's been dodging accountability for years. Critique time. "Oh, Thorn, what a gutless move. Hiding behind lawyers while dogs suffer his empire's built on sand." Mia clutches her dad's whistle, her resolve hardening. If they want Shadow, they'll have to face the truth first. At a packed town hall, organized to rally support, Mia steps up to speak her first time facing a crowd. She's nervous, the lights' two bright voices a blur, but Shadow's at her side, grounding her. She holds up her dad's journal, reading aloud. Trust begins where fear ends. Then Caleb projects those leaked emails on a screen, revealing Thorn's funding of fight rings, complete with photos of caged Labrador's Shadow among them. The crowd gasps. That's criminal. But here's the kicker. A figure in the back stands. It's Thorn's former head trainer, now retired, who confesses, "I trained Shadow to fight because Thorn paid me to break him. I'm done hiding. Exclaim with me. Explosive truth. The man who built Thorn's dogs turns on him. Mia's courage just cracked a dynasty wide open. This is addicting, right? The hall erupts. Cheers, tears, even shouts for justice. Thorn, watching via livestream from his sleek office, slams his fist, his empire crumbling as sponsors jump ship. But the gay can doesn't stop. That night, as Mia checks on Luna, now recovering, thank goodness, she spots headlights a sheriff's truck with Thorn's lawyer inside, serving an emergency injunction to seize the dogs tonight. No, Mia cries, her whistle trembling in her hand. Shadow growls low, not at her, but at the threat, while Echo and Rusty press close, sensing danger. Sophia grabs her phone, calling allies, but time's running out. The lawyer sneers. "You're out of your depth, kid." Critique. What a snake. Thorn's desperation reeks, throwing money at fear instead of facing his sins. Mia's not backing down. Her autism, which makes crowds overwhelming, also gives her laser focus. She notices the lawyer's briefcase has a familiar logo, the same fight ring supplier from Caleb's emails. She snaps a photo, whispering to Shadow, "We've got him now." It's a high-stakes gamble, and Mia's planning something bold. A public stand at the county fairgrounds tomorrow where she'll face Thorn head-on with her dogs and the truth as her weapons. Hang tight, friends, this final clash will break hearts and rebuild dreams with one girl, one whistle, and a pack of Labradors showing the world what trust can do. Drop your guesses below. How's Mia gonna turn this around? Let's keep the love for these dogs alive.